Hey everyone, Matron here, bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary, this time Game 2 of the Best of 3 series, which I began casting earlier in the week between PWR Elfi and MTW Dimaga. This is part of the Black Dragon League, and again, this is going to be Game 2. Dimaga was able to take Game 1 on Xel'Naga Caverns. We saw that game in his point of view. If you haven't watched that one yet, I encourage you to do so, as it sets up this next game nicely. So Elfi one game behind, and he's on his deathbed here. He's got to win the second game to force a Game 3. Won't do this one in a point of view mode, because I kind of want to show you the strategy for both players in this one, as we see Elfi placing down that pylon, going to be ready to wall off. In the first game, Elfi went for a 3-gate expand, got out a lot of early sentries, and was able to kind of dictate the pace of the game at the start, but Dimaga was droning up after he did see that 3-gate expand, and eventually was able to recover from a few mistakes and put the game away. So now Elfi is going to have to go to one of his best strategies here to try to knock off a very strong European Zerg player. Placing down that gateway, so we won't have any sort of forge first or cannon play here. Dimaga again going for that early gas, and he's going to want to get that gas up a foot or two before that pool so that he can get out the speedlings, really control the flow of units in the early going here. He knows where his opponent is. Elfi knows exactly where Dimaga is because of this Overlord. And now Dimaga is going to want to try to get the timing on this gas, make sure that Elfi is not putting down a second gas too early, and just try to kind of see the build at this point. He knows that Elfi went for the 3-gate expand in the last game. That's a build which a lot of Protoss players like to open with. It allows them to get on those 2 bases, which is so very important because then they can begin the Colossi production. And once they get 2-base Colossi, it can be very difficult for the Zerg. So it looks like Elfi going to be blocking the expansion of Dimaga at this point. I'll throw up the production tab. The pool's almost done. The Cybernetics core on its way. No Zealot quite yet for Elfi, but he knows that Dimaga is getting all the scouting information right now with this Overlord, so he doesn't have to worry about a Ling run by or any drones coming in at this point. Dimaga pulling off that gas, starting Ling speed, and working on his Queen here as well. Looks like 4 Lings coming out, and we saw him use the Lings in the last game so very well. He used 1 or 2 Lings to chase away the probe of Elfi. Then he used the remaining Lings to scour the map for proxy pylons, to take the towers, and just kind of to control the flow of the game in the early going. Now chasing away that probe, and it looks like Dimaga is going to be getting down into his expansion at 21 food. And again, we see Dimaga using these Zerglings all over the place looking for proxy pylons, chasing the probe down, and also getting this watchtower, which is going to give him plenty of sight. If we check out Dimaga's view here, he's got great sight throughout the map at this point. He's got Overlord spread. He's going to be at the front of the base of Elfi in just a moment. He's not going to be able to get quite in because of the Zealot. It looks like Elfi at this point getting down a gateway, doing a nice job putting a pylon behind the smoke here, so he's going to be able to see any sort of mutas if they do duck in from that angle. And Dimaga just now getting up about halfway done his second hatchery here, doing a nice job droning up. We see 5 drones on the way. If we check out the harvester count, it is 19 to 22, so Dimaga was a little bit behind, but once these drones do pop out, he'll be quite ahead. We see a 3rd gate being added for Elfi, and actually it looks like a 4th gate as well, so he's hiding a gateway here. He made a sentry, so Dimaga, if he sees this sentry, may think that this is a fast expand build, and it looks like Elfi actually placing down a pylon as well. So Dimaga, if he sees this, he may feel like the same sort of build coming, a 3-gate expand from the Protoss, and it looks like he is now droning up another 4 or 5 drones on the way, so droning up very hard. And he's feeling safe at this point because he doesn't think that there's any sort of pressure, but we know that Elfi has 4 gates. It looks like Gateway Tech has finished, the 4th gate about to come up here, and Elfi is going to be able to push out very strong here with all these units. Wants to make sure that he's clearing out any sort of Zerglings, which may be scouting here. And now he's going to have a lot of sentries, and if you can get a proxy pylon across the map here, Dimaga could be in trouble. Dimaga, another 5 drones. He's already got 30 drones, another 5 coming out. So now he could be in trouble, and it looks like the Ling, I'm not really sure if he is able to see those units to move out, but he does see that pylon move out, and now he sees all these units, and he's going to have to respond with a lot of roaches and Zerglings to defend against this push. Elfi is going to be able to get a pylon up here, as he does have the probe across the field. Dimaga was not able to take that out, And now all these sentries have pretty high energy. He's going to be able to force field the ramp and force field some of the drones as well if he wants to try to slice and dice those with any sort of zealots, which he does warp in. If we check out the army count, it is 950 to 325, now 475, as some roaches have popped out for Dimaga, so pretty good timing on those, but he's going to have to use these roaches as well as his queens to defend against this push. Very powerful for Elfi as he's got more and more zealots coming in here. The Lings pouring out, trying to get to those sentries, preventing any more force fields from going down the ramp. But it looks like the sentries were able to get another force field down, so there's a lot of roaches and a few Lings here trapped at the top of the ramp. He's going to be taking those on with his stalkers at this point. The roaches with the range 4, stalkers with the range of 6, and he's just ripping apart the drones as well with the zealots. A Spinecrawler going down for Dimaga, but more and more reinforcements coming for Elfi. Another force field going down, stopping that roach and all those Zerglings again, and looks like Dimaga will be losing all these drones as well as this hatchery if he gets one more force field here. Trying to kite away with those drones, kite away the army, and now we see the remaining units of Dimaga pouring out here. Those Zerglings taking on those sentries, trying to take them down. And it looks like all the sentries now are down, so no more force fields on the ramp, but more and more zealots coming out as a reaction to those Lings, and the zealots are just going to be shredding these Lings. Dimaga at this point, if we check the income tab, down to 26 workers and giving the GG. Wow, so Dimaga there kind of got tricked a little bit by Elfi. Elfi did a nice job hiding that 4th gateway. He placed that pylon down, and you saw the reaction by Dimaga. He immediately made another 5 drones, and then even after that made another 5 drones. So that was 10 drones that he probably wouldn't have put down or created if he knew that it was a 4-gate. Dimaga did retreat with that Overlord out of the base of Elfi pretty quickly and did not check for any sort of hidden tech behind the smoke. Something that you really need to do anytime you're playing against a Protoss or a Terran player, and Elfi was able to take advantage. A pretty ingenious build here off of the 4-gate. 4-gate already powerful in itself. Pretty stoppable by Zerg if they do scout it and they get enough units out in the early going. But Dimaga again just droning up because Elfi tricked him in this one. And now we'll move on to game 3. We'll see if Elfi goes for some sort of hijinks like he just did again, or if Dimaga is able to win a big macro game like in the first one. Thanks for watching this one. Take care.